Let others join, then we'll start. Yes, so as some of you are there, first of all, I'll give you a brief introduction about myself. My name is Vibhuti Parekh, and beta, I'm not a sir, I'm a ma'am. Okay, okay. Arpit is saying hello to me. Great. Hi, Arpit, how are you? I hope you're good today. So, my name is Vibhuti Parekh. I'm having an experience of 9 years, and from last 5 years, I've been teaching students at various places. And I'm not a localite. I'm not from Rajkot. I'm from outside, and I'm conversant with three different languages. That is Hindi, English, and Gujarati. So if anyone thinks that that me being an outsider will not be able to understand if you're saying something in Gujarati, then let me correct you on the day one itself. I'm very conversant with the language and I'll be able to understand every word you say. Thirdly, I expect students to interact in the class not only through the medium of messages but also verbally. I expect them to speak up, to put up their views regarding the topic, other than the topic, and that is something which is appreciated from my end on time to time basis. Usually, generally, I'm able to appreciate it, but if you are going way beyond the topic, then I'll have to stop you, and I'll not be sorry for that, because after all, we are in the class in order to study. But yes, a healthy discussion is something which is always appreciated from my end, but a healthy discussion, not speaking anything at all. But if you're having a healthy discussion, then that will be appreciated from my end in every possible way. Thirdly, during your classes, as soon as you are coming in the class, you will be requested to please put up your enrollment numbers. Are you having your enrollment numbers? Kids, are you having your enrollment numbers with you? See, this is what I was saying about speaking up.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am. We are having our
Yes, ma'am.
enrollment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
That is good. Okay. So as you're having your enrollment numbers, what you have to do is you have to write down your enrollment number in the chat box along with your name so that I can mark your attendance for that particular session. Moreover, you're requested to, I'll mark your attendance. You don't have to check anything. I'll just make sure you're there. Okay. So as soon as you are getting in the class, the first thing that you'll do is you'll put up your name and your enrollment number in the chat box so that your attendance doesn't, so that due to any reason your attendance is not missed. And you do not need to put that you are in honors section C or B or A. You just have to place your attendance, your name and your enrollment number. That is it. And enrollment number apna hi likhna. Don't try to put proxy for your friends. Okay, so this was about the starting. Now, the subject that I'll be teaching you is macroeconomics. You've already been through economics. That is what I was saying. You do not have to write whether you are in BCom honors C, A or B. You just have to write your name and your number. That is it. Nothing else. Okay, so you have been through microeconomics in your last semester. This time what we'll be doing, we'll be going through the macro part of the economics, which is also named as macroeconomics. Now, what is the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics? Anyone can tell me that?
Hello,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
microeconomics deals with the individual aspects and individual equilibriums, where it shows the partial figure of our economy, where macroeconomics studies about the larger society or the big frame of the economics problems.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else who wants to tell about, who want to speak up about what macroeconomics is? If you're not comfortable talking, you can even write down. Okay, someone has already written. It's Rahil. Micro means working at individual aspect, whereas macro works for the whole country, like nation, income, and aggregate. Yes, yes. Micro is working. Micro is like taking single aspect into consideration, and macro is something which is not in our control. That can also be termed as macro. I think there is some network issue with some of the students. They're coming and going, coming and going. Is it I'll have to start the Google Meet reference for you? Because that keeps on telling me that who's there in the class and who's not. Want me to do that? Fine. Yes, yes. Yes, you people are right that microeconomics is the study of an individual unit, whereas the macro is study of aggregated units of an economy. That is what I'm saying, that microeconomics is something which you can actually control, and macro is something which we cannot control whatsoever. So what we'll do today is, do you want to study on the very first day of your class? I know generally people do not ask this question to you, but I'm asking. Do you want to study on the very first day of your class? As expected. Okay, someone is saying yes also. Okay. Okay. Now, chalo, before starting your subject, I'll tell you a story. This, not a story, it's about what I used to do as a student. Generally, people try to tell the students that they have been teachers try to tell the students that they were very studious or they were very keen towards studying, or They were very much into books. Okay, so fine, you can meet me. I was not studious. I used to have all the fun possible in the college. Yeah, that is a white lie. No, but what I'm telling you is not a white lie. I was not a very studious individual. I used to have lots and lots of fun in my class, and I don't remember any of my teachers who wouldn't have scolded me once. Generally, every teacher has scolded me once because I, along with studies, I was always interested in everything else. No, I was not a topper. I was not a topper. I was somewhere in between the average students and the very good students. People who are known for all the good and non-good things. Like they are known that they are good at studies, but at the same time they are also known that they are very good at making masti. So yes, I was one of those people who were known for both the things. If we are into studies, if you are telling us to make a presentation, I'll make the yes, you can say not average, a slight above. Okay, fine, average is also good. So we'll make the best presentation in the class, and the teacher will be super impressed by us. At the same time, if you will tell us that you'll have to constantly sit for 4 hours in the class and keep on studying without a break of 10 or 15 minutes, then we were the people who in the last hour were not were always generally out of control, because I was within 70, 75, not above that. So yes, average above average was my above 75. Yes, I was a backbencher. I'm very tall. I've always been taller in my class. So yes, we used to call ourselves LLBs. That is Lord of Last Benches. So yes, I was a backbencher, and while studying, if we were not interested in the studies, we used to doodle on the last page of our books. But yes, we never disrespected anyone in the class, especially our teachers. They were very sure that we are very much focused in the books which are in front of us, irrespective to what we are doing into it. But at the same time, we knew what we are doing. We were having fun and we were having our studies. Things were quite balanced. That is what an average student does. They balance both the things. All fun and no play makes all studies and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we were not dull. We were very smart, super smart. People used to tell us that you guys are super smart. So that is about me. Anyone over here wants to discuss something? You have just been to school right now. You haven't been through college and work and places. Is there anyone who has been through a lot of places? Like I'll tell you, I was born in Rajasthan, brought up in Gujarat, worked in MP, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and then I came back to Gujarat. So I've been a wanderer till now. Is there anyone who has been a wanderer? Because there are certain people who are having their parents in government jobs. Their macro environment is such that they cannot control it. The parents keep on getting transferred, so they keep on moving from one place to another. Okay, Mahi is there, Asta is also there. Okay, so how was the experience? Was it good, making new friends everywhere, or trying to adjust into new environment? It was good. Okay, chalo. So that is something very good to hear. With this, I knew that from since morning. From when were you having your classes? 8:55. Uh-huh. I somehow I got that by now. मेरे बच्चे बेचारे थोड़े बहुत थक गए होंगे. They haven't even got a break from last class to this class. It's just a 5 minutes. Even we do not. Yeah, it teaches good things. Even we are just in the process of transferring from one class to another. Even we do not get that breaks and so on. So I understood that you guys must have been tired and not in a full mood to study. But I wasn't even planning for that. what I was planning to do is, I was just going to tell you about your syllabus and we'll start your studies from tomorrow. And moreover, if you keep on interacting and if you keep on responding to things, I'll try to make economics fun. Okay, Soham. And I cannot understand every time, but yes, I'll make an effort. But the effort should be mutual. If you keep on responding and interacting, your classes will be fun. If it is just monologue from my end, then I don't know how much fun I'll be able to add. If you keep on responding, yes, एक बात से दूसरी बात निकलती है, and then we can have a laugh on it. But that is something which entirely depends on you. My class of BBA FM 4th semester is quite fun. They respond to me some of the times and we laugh for any possible reason. But that is, those people, they are responding to me and hence we are having fun. But that absolutely depends on you. With this, what I'll do is, I'll just take you to a very small journey of your syllabus. Only syllabus, no teaching today. Okay, so this is the introduction to macroeconomics. As per me, macroeconomics was something, if there is nothing in our hands, if we cannot control anything, then why are we studying it? But later on, when I studied further things, when I've been through further subjects, I understood that the effect of macroeconomics on those particular aspects of life is way beyond as compared to micro. And this has a major impact. We are studying GDP, we are able to understand that what is the inflation, what is the deflation, how is the market moving, from where will you be able to get the job, will you be able to get the job at all or not, and if you're having money, should it be invested, or if it is to be invested, where it should be invested, should we go to the market or the bank, should we take an FD or a SIP? All that brings us to macroeconomics back. Your day-to-day life becomes a part of macroeconomics. Okay, so I'll take you to the journey of macroeconomics. Are you ready? Are you ready to go with me? Yes, macro is more realistic. Absolutely, yes. Okay, so we'll start with your unit 1. Now, your unit 1 is the introduction of macroeconomics and national income. अब हम बोलेंगे हमें अपनी इनकम का नहीं पता, हम national income क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं? See, whenever your country is moving ahead, the chances of you getting a better job and a better employment are also high. Hence, we should always be aware that what is our macro environment and what is the economy working in a outside of our control way. So what we'll be doing, first thing is, we'll be going through the nature and scope of macroeconomics. What is the nature? Why is it macro in nature? What all is included in macroeconomics? Then what is the scope? What all things are covered in macroeconomics? It is not necessary that each and every economic aspect which was once upon a time covered in microeconomics will be covered in macro also. No, it's not necessary. At the same time, it is not necessary that only the aspects which were covered in microeconomics will be covered in macro. No, anything can be covered. They are interrelated, but they are separate in many ways. Okay, there's one more thing which I want to tell you people is that some of the times my speed of talking is very fast. So if you're finding that I'm going very fast for your understanding and acceptance region, that my Venn diagram is way beyond the acceptance limit, you'll have to tell me. And you'll have to turn on your mic and tell me, okay, ma'am, please slow down a bit. Then I'll slow down. It's not that I do not understand how to talk slowly. I do know that. But when I'm with the flow, I'll just keep on going. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for understanding that. Okay, then we'll go with the circular flow of income and national income accounting. Now, what is the circular flow? Circular flow of income is when the income is coming to you and going. Supplier to consumer to producer, producer to supplier, supplier to consumer, consumer to producer, and it goes round and round and round and round in the economy. That is why government of India usually starts telling us, do not hoard money. Yeah, jab we had this demonetization, many people were having this hoarded money in their accounts, which they have in their homes, not accounts, in their homes, which they had to flush out. Flush out is the thing which I'll say, because they had to change the currency, and in the process of changing the currency, what was happening, that income was again coming into a circular motion, and as a result of that, things were becoming cheaper, or the standard of living was increased in that period of time, because whenever you are having money in the market, you are able to make the life of an individual easier. But when you are not having any money in the market, when there is no circular flow of income, it is stuck somewhere, it causes problem. Then we are having national income accounting. Now in national income accounting, we'll try to understand what is the income of a country at large. That is, what is NDP, what is GDP, what are the effects of it, what is sectoral composition of national income. Then GDP measured at different factors, that is factor price and constant price. See, GDP is gross domestic product. It is including mostly all the parts of your income which an individual can think of. At the same time, we have GNP and NNP also. Not only GDP and NDP, we are having GNP and NNP also. That is gross national product and gross net product and national net product. So that is also, that can also be studied, that can also be carried out, and obviously during your syllabus or during our lectures, I'll be considering that, going through them. Then we are having sectoral composition of national income. Now what is the sectoral composition? A national income is not made up of only one sector. We are having service sector, production sector, education sector, and n number of things are there. So here what we'll be trying to understand, that which sector is providing what to the national income, and whether it is coming up in a proper way or not. That is what we have to study in the sectoral composition of national income. So this was about your unit 1. Then along with all these sectoral compositions and GDP measures and GNP measures, I told you that we'll be going through the GNP and NNP also, the fact that is factor cost and national income. Right now you might be thinking ye kya hota hai, ye kyun hota hai, but as and when we are able to do, as and when we are going through these topics, things will keep on becoming understandable and simpler for you. See, in macroeconomics, there is only one thing that you have to do, is you have to keep yourself in loop, so that, because everything is related to the last topic. If you are losing your link in between, then there are chances that you'll not be able to catch the next topic at all. But if you are in the link, if you are in the loop, then things will become very simple for you. Then we are having the factor cost and national income. After that, we'll be calculating the per capita income. That is, if my nation is earning this much money, what should be my income in it? That is what per capita, the total income divided by the total population. Then we are having the disposable income and personal disposable income. This is something which is very, very much important. The money or the circular flow of income that we are talking about in the market, it comes with the help of this disposable income only. If your disposable income is very high, then you will spend a lot. If your disposable income is low, then the problem will start. Then we'll be calculating the national income and the patterns in which the national income can be calculated. Then we'll be talking about the difficulties which are there in measuring the national income. This is about your unit 1. Mostly it is talking about the national income, the calculations of national income, the factors which are included in national income, and so on. All those things. Basically, एक ही चीज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, but from every aspect. It is trying to hold your ear directly and indirectly, and then from both your hands, and then indirectly from both your hands. Basically, that is what your first unit is all about. We are trying to understand something in every possible way it's there. Like if you are going if you are going to the canteen and you're ordering a food article, then you are trying to relish it in every way. अगर हमने if you have ordered a dosa, we are trying to enjoy that dosa with sambar, with chutney, with Manchurian, with noodles, whatever you have ordered, whatever your friends have ordered. Some of the times we even try to make mess with food. So that is also an aspect. So in that way also, not now, right now it is not available, else it is available. Okay, so that is what your first unit is all about. It's about your national income, per capita income, GDP, GNP, and so on. Then your second unit is about the Keynesian economic theory. Now, what is this Keynesian economic theory? This is the theory which will tell us about the Say's laws of market, and the Say's laws of market is telling us how the market works generally. Earlier it used to work, and the criticism is provided by Keynes. Then we will be studying about the simple model which is provided by Keynes, and that model is of income determination, that how can you determine the income of an individual. That is something which we'll be trying to understand. Then we are having some good functions, that is the concept of consumption function, saving function, investment function, average function, and like average propensity to consume. What is an average propensity to consume of an individual? Have you heard of P index, H index, and all those things? Purchasing power parity. Have you heard of purchasing power parity? Anyone? PPP. किसी ने purchasing power parity के बारे में सुना है? Yes, someone has heard. Yes, yes. There are people who have heard of purchasing power parity. What is a purchasing power parity? Is it the income that we earn? Tell me, is it the income that you earn? Then what is it? I don't know. Someone will have to tell me what is purchasing power parity. Nay, it's not the average measurement. But yes, it can depict your living standard. That is true. Come on, tell me. What is purchasing power parity? In layman language. It is basically what you can buy in your country at $1. That is the purchasing power parity. The calculation is also done in the same way. As simple as that. Layman language, use layman language. See, in economics, what people generally do is they try to understand definitions, they try to understand the explanations. Try to convert things in layman language. Layman language will help you to understand that in the way in which you are able to understand, in the way in which it is made. Once you have understood things, mugging up is very easy. For those who want to mug up, for those who want to understand, they can even understand. Yes, it is a purchasing price. That is what I'm saying now. That purchasing power parity is how much goods can you buy at $1 in your country as compared to another country. If you can buy in India, what you can buy at $1? Our conversion rate comes to 75. And that's 75 what we can buy. Can we buy a burger? बालाजी की पूरी कंपनी थोड़ी खरीदनी है 75 में. I'm talking about $75. What all you can buy in $75? You can buy a packet of wafers, a Aloo Tikki. Yes, 7 Maggies. Okay, yes. You can buy 7 Maggi. Not 7 Maggi, 6 Maggi. 12 6 are 72. Yes, you can buy sugar, jaggery, dates, and yes, yes, yes. Sugar 1 kg, इतना सब कुछ 1 kg तो नहीं आएगा. No, no, यार, you cannot buy everything 1 kg, but yes, some part of it. Whereas if you are in any American nation, then there you can buy just a burger at $1, not more than that. So our purchasing power parity is higher as compared to them. Okay, so next we will move towards what is further there in unit 2. We are having the marginal propensity to consume. That is how different is it from another's, and we are having the investment multiplier. That is marginal efficiency of capital and factors affecting the marginal efficiency to consume. This is what we'll be doing in your unit 2. Then third, we are having money supply and central bank. Are you aware how many banks are there in India? Okay. And which is the Central Bank of India? Chalo. This is a reply for everyone. Everyone has marked their attendance now. No one should be left out. For those who have joined the class later on, they are requested to please put up their names and enrollment numbers in the chat box so that the attendance can be marked. Okay, so third unit, we are having money supply in and central bank. Now, what is this money supply and central bank? Central bank is the governing bank of our country, that is, as correctly told by you, RBI. In money supply, we'll be going through the meaning and evolution of money. We started from barter system and so on we are going. So we'll be going through the theory of money. Then what is the definition of money? Okay, what is the definition of money as per you? Tell me, what is the definition of money as per you? Absolutely right. Something which can be used to exchange, which we can use for exchange of goods and services. Nowadays, that is what money is. Then we'll be trying to understand the functions of money. EY mein kha gayi hu uska. Then the demand for money. What is the demand for money in the market? The quantity theory of money, that is very important for us. The Fisher's equation of exchange, that is how you can calculate the exchange rate and all those things. Then we are having the Cambridge theory. These are theories in itself. They're just basically an expression towards the theoretical part that we have already studied. Then we are having the supply of money, determinants of money supply, components of money supply, and the RBI approach to M1, M2, M3, M4. Now, yeah, when we are looking at this M1, M2, M3, M4, we'll be thinking that these are what is this? This must be some calculation method or something like that. No, these are the types of money. M1 is currency, that is notes and coins and all those. M2 is one step ahead. M3 is another step ahead. M4 is another step ahead. That is your plastic money is something which is included in M4. So this is something that will be going through in unit 3. That is all about money, its evolution, its existence, its calculation, its demand and supply in the market, and the types of money acceptable by the Reserve Bank of India. Are we clear? Okay. There's nothing to be clear. Dhire dhire clear ho jaoge. Okay, then we'll be studying about the business cycles and inflations in unit 4. Like when we are talking about business cycles, we'll be going through the concept of business cycle. Every business has its ups and lows and downs and belows. What are the 4 phases of business cycle? That is, are you aware of 4 phases of any business cycle? Someone is doing Google very well, very well. Okay. Everyone is coming with the same answer. Okay, yes. So there are the 4 phases of business cycle which we'll be studying in detail. Then we'll be going towards interest rates, then loanable fund theory and liquidity preference theory. That why is liquidity preferred in the market? And the motives for liquidity preference. Then we'll be having transaction motive, precaution motive, speculative motive, the factors affecting interest rates. Then what is inflation? What are the types, causes, and effects of inflation? And how is inflation and investment related to one another? That also will be going through. What is inflation? Chalo, batao. You guys know everything because of Google. What is inflation? Okay, currently recession is going on. Fine. What is inflation? Increase in the price of money. Okay. See, I told you, you people know everything because of Google. Unnecessary price rise. Okay. Okay. Yes, that can be said. And it is true. So in the last unit, we'll be going through open economy and macroeconomics. That is balance of payment. What is balance of payment? सब कुछ ही Google कर रहे हो, ये भी करो चलो. What is balance of payment? The income and expenditure balance sheet of a country. That is balance of payment, which includes everything. Not only goods but goods, services, and other aspects also. Then the meaning and assessment of balance of payment and disequilibrium, causes and remedies. See, disequilibrium in balance of payment can be due to anything. It can be because of increase in imports, decrease in imports, increase in exports, decrease in exports, or due to any sort of alien entity or alien friend. These things can happen. Then we'll be moving towards the introduction of foreign exchange rates, which are there are certain rates which are fixed, there are certain which are flexible. So we'll be going through that, and the exchange rate determination. This was all about your syllabus in 5 units. Basically, it is not too much, but it depends in which way you are ready to take it. If you are ready to take it very positively, very warmly, open-heartedly, and open-mindedly, then it is a very simple syllabus for you, because every unit is very much intervened in itself. If you want to make a dinosaurus out of it, then you'll be able to do that. So basically, the entire concept of economics is how you want to treat it. If you want to treat it easily, it will become easy for you. If you want to treat it in a tough way, it will become hard for you. The choice is yours, absolutely yours. I'll try my level best to make things simpler, but then your perception is your perception. It plays its part. Okay, so this was all from my side for today. Is there something that you people want to like speak up or share with the class? Because today is your first day, hence I'll not say anything much to you. But yes, from tomorrow we'll start our regular classes. Anything that anyone wants to share? Share market is down. Okay. That is what Rishabh wants to share. That is also a part of macro environment only, macroeconomics only. These share markets, the investments, and all those things. Okay, as none of you wants to share anything, what I can do is I can tell you thank you for attending the class. Are we having a lecture tomorrow? Let me check. No, we're not having a lecture tomorrow. We'll be meeting again on Monday. So till Monday, thank you. Take care of yourself. Try to make sure that completed of first lockdown. Yes, yes. So should we wish one another happy lockdown? No, it was not happy at all. You were there in the college in between. So no, there is no celebration. And lockdown is nothing which should be celebrated. Moreover, the state in which I was, 22nd was the day on which lockdown started. No, no cakes and all. Is there anything that you want to share? Someone has asked me that who was the father of macroeconomics. There's nothing like modern macroeconomics, beta. But Adam Smith was the father of economics, and John Maynard Keynes, that is the Keynes theory, which we'll be studying. He was the father of macroeconomics. Yes, if you want, you can leave. No, right now you do not have to prepare any book for the subject. But yes, I'll expect you people to take down notes from time to time. That is as per your convenience, that in which way do you want to take down the notes. Thank you. I hope whatever I was told today is understandable to all of you. Okay, if you want textbooks, then you can refer D.N. Divedi or Salvador, whichever is comfortable and available for you, that you can refer from for macroeconomics. Moreover, we'll be providing you with all the PPTs, so that also you can refer. So thank you, kids. Thank you for being in the class.